And I know times like this you just take it slow. I fall asleep in the pillows. She got my heart in a chokehold. And there she goes.
Assalamu alaikum. Hello everyone. This is Liquidity Club by Ahmed Shawi. Today is Sunday, the 31st of March 2024. I'll be doing the weekly market review, starting with DXY. Here we have the weekly time frame chart. You can see that we're not trading at the consequent attachment of that premium wick. And we also formed an inside week trading here of last week's trading. So we have a high that is lower than previous week's high, and we have a low that is higher than previous week's low. So this means that smart money are trying to accumulate some positions here, and they're holding this asset, which is DXY index, in consolidation to do their positioning here, so they can be going for the targets. So for me now, I'm not one-sidedness. I'm just looking where price can be reaching for, and I need more intel from price. Going to the daily time frame chart, you can see that we're slowly approaching the buy side liquidity. After we approach the buy side liquidity, we can potentially see price reverse. We have the turtle soup towards the lower prices. We have the sell side liquidity here, sell side liquidity here. Why would I say that? Because we have a bearish order block here. Price traded to it one more time. It can revisit the bearish order block, take out the buy stops right there, and then continue trading down lower. So that's what I'm thinking price can do at the moment. So that's gonna be pretty much it for DXY. Going to ES, here I'm viewing the continuous contract and I'm viewing the weekly time frame chart. You can see that last week we created a fair value gap between this candle's high and this candle's low. We were very close from approaching or taking out the previous week's high. So you can see we have buy side liquidity that's resting above here. Those relative equal highs we can be potentially see price attack them. As you can see also we have this weekly fair value gap from the weekly time frame chart. This is the weekly fair value gap right there. We have just below the low, we have the weekly fair value gap and we have the bullish order block. So there is a potential turtle soup entry here if price would retrace before taking out the buy stops over there. Although it's close to it, but it can retrace, take out the sell stops, reach the bullish order block and fill the weekly fair value gap, and then reach out for the buy stops or the buy side liquidity. This would be building more sentiment because if we break below this low, people would be thinking that this is a market structure shift or a break of market structure, whatever you want to call it. Some people call it change of character. Regardless of the naming, people can see this as a break of market structure and they will be betting on this that's going to be trading down lower and they're going to be selling. And when they sell, they're going to be selling their buy stops order or the sells or their stop loss above this high. This will enhance the pool of liquidity that is being built above these two highs. But it can from here it can just run for the buy side liquidity and that's it. Or the second scenario, which I mentioned, a retracement taking out the sell side liquidity, reaching to the bullish order block, forming a turtle soup, and then reversing and taking out the buy stops. Both are expected scenarios to be occurring from price. So that's gonna be pretty much it for ES. Going to NQ, here I'm viewing the weekly time frame chart. I'm also viewing the continuous contract. As you can see, pretty much the last few weeks, it's been pretty much consolidation, choppy price action. It's not the condition that you want to be trading at. And I also want to mention that right now there's some geopolitical things that are happening around the world, and it heavily influence how price is trading at the moment. So you might look at it as price is choppy, but you must be aware of what's happening around you in terms of the geopolitical issues that are happening around the world. So as a result, you can look at the news, but many things are happening in Russia and other parts of the world. This can result in indecisive or choppy price action in these markets. because they are heavily manipulated by smart money. And when we are approaching some kind of situation like this, there's going to be heavily manipulation in the market, and smart money are going to be heavily taking benefit of those events to basically make more money. So regarding NQ, you can see that we've been in a consolidation lately. So it's pretty hard, we're still in a buy program because that's what the program we're at. We're looking for higher prices. But when we're approaching this kind of price action, this would be resulting in we're gonna be seeing some consolidation, and sometimes consolidation we can either see a reversal in a buy program, we're gonna be seeing a sell program, or else we will see a continuation to the upside. So both are probable scenarios to be expecting. Going to the daily time frame chart, you can see we have the fair value gap. Price took the sell side liquidity right there. The sell stops reached to the consequent of that fair value gap and then traded up higher, formed a bullish breaker and the fair value gap and the volume balance in that rectangle. Price retraced, walked inside the fair value gap, the volume balance and the bullish breaker. Now we'd be expecting price to drive towards the buy side liquidity. So that's gonna be pretty much it for NQ. We're still looking for higher prices regardless of what's happening, until we see a very clear indication that price wants to start trading down lower and it wants to start the sell program. Otherwise, we will still be looking for higher prices. Going to Dow, here I'm viewing the continuous contract and I'm viewing the weekly time frame chart. You can see even on Dow, we're still looking and we're still expecting higher prices. Going to the daily time frame chart, you can see the bullish mitigation block that I've mentioned last week. Price retraced to the bullish mitigation block, and you can see how the bodies respected that bullish mitigation block right there. Some wicks did some more damage, left this area unfilled or breakaway gap, and then run it up higher. Now, there's a futuristic breakaway gap. Now, if you might ask me, how did I get to that anticipation that this rectangle would be the breakaway gap? There are some deep calculations behind what I'm doing. I might show some of the things that I'm doing behind the scenes of how I anticipate breakaway gaps, futuristic bullish breakers, futuristic order blocks, and so on and so forth. But regardless, this is what I'm expecting. I'm expecting this gap to be a breakaway gap. Price can trace, walk inside the fair value gap, but I really don't want to see any trading inside this breakaway gap. Price can wick. I don't want to see it. Actually, I don't want to see it wick to the consequent of the breakaway gap, but it can wick inside the higher half of it, and then it can rally up higher for the buy side liquidity, or it can just rally from here to the buy side liquidity. So here are the two probable scenarios that I mentioned. Even on AS, I mentioned those two scenarios, and on Dow now, price can just run to the buy side liquidity, or it can retrace, fill some of that fair value gap and leave that breakaway gap unfilled, and then rally up higher for the buy side liquidity. So that's gonna be pretty much it for Dow. Going to Euro USD, also known as the fiber. Here I'm viewing the weekly time frame chart. You can see it's pretty much indecisive. Euro USD, we're trading down lower. You can see how we traded to the rejection block right there. Going to the, and we also created a weekly fair value gap. Going to the daily time frame chart, you can see we have a bullish order block. We have the bullish with a low, high, lower low, and then high and high. This creates bullish breaker, bullish order block, the bullish rejection block, and we took the sell side liquidity here. We have formed a low, and we formed here a low, and we took out these lows. Now, if we break above these highs, this high, I'll be expecting some kind of a reversal to attack these lows right there, these highs right there. This high, and this high. So I'm monitoring Euro USD closely here to see if it wants to give me any, or if it wants to tip its hand, so I can be getting an intel of what it's trying to do over the course of next few weeks. So that's gonna be pretty much it for Euro USD, or also known as the fiber. Going to Pound USD, also known as the cable. Here I'm viewing the weekly time frame chart. You can see the same thing is mentioned here. Although we've sold the buy side liquidity, we started retracing down lower. Overall, we're still in a really tight and choppy price action of pound USD. Also, you can see that condition here from pretty much the mid-December last year and until now, we've been in a range between this low and this high. We've recently created another range of that high. So the high was here and we broke out this high, but we're still trading between this low and this high. So we're still in consolidation. There's not much being said about this or forex market and related to the DXY because DXY is actually in a choppy price action so condition. So because of that, we cannot really bet on one side in the marketplace regarding DXY, and as a result, in accordance to DXY, the forex market and the majors such as Euro USD, Pound USD, etc. So I'm still not betting on one side on Pound USD. I'm still wanting to get more into. We have a weekly level gap that was created here. Going to the daily time frame chart, you can see that we've swept the sell side liquidity right there, just like what we've swept the sell side liquidity on Pound USD. But I wanna take your attention here that we have a low and we have a low. So remember, we have two lows here, and the third low right there didn't take out this low. However, on Euro USD, we've created a low, and then we took out this low. So this means that if we start seeing higher prices on Euro USD or in Pound USD and lower prices in DXY, so DXY will be trading now at the constant with the premium wake. As you can remember, if you don't remember, you can just rewind the video and look at DXY charts, the weekly time frame charts. You'll see that we're trading at the constant with the premium wake, and from there we can just start trading down lower. This as a result can trade or this can result as a result make Euro USD and Pound USD start trading up higher. And what would be confirming to us that we have a low, and then we took out these lows right there last week. But on Pound USD, we formed a low, but last low didn't take out last week's low. So this is really important to keep in mind because this would be showing strength in Pound USD and weakness in Euro USD. So the strong sister would be Pound USD because it refused to take out this low, whereas Euro USD didn't have an issue to take out this low, and it really took it right there. Now regarding DXY, you can see also it took out the buy side liquidity right there. So we have a high, and we took out these both highs last week. So really pay very close attention to what's happening between. You have to have an inter-market analysis between the markets that you're trading, and any other people who says otherwise, they don't really have enough experience about the marketplace. They will be saying just trade one chart. Now if you're trading one chart, you're just being blind. You're not looking at the markets as a whole, and you're just trading the chart, you're trading the patterns. You're not trading the actual and opinion markets. You're not looking at the relationship between the actual market that you're trading and the other markets. There are very specific relationship in the markets or between the asset classes that you must know, or otherwise you will just be blindsided by moves that you didn't see coming. So it's very important to pay very close attention to the intermarket analysis that you are doing. So for Forex, you could be looking at DXY, Euro USD, and if you're trading Euro USD, you could be looking at DXY as a inversely correlated market class or market, and you could be looking as for a closely correlated market asset class to also look and compare and contrast with the actual market that you're trading. So if you're trading the Euro USD, DXY would be the inversely correlated market, and Pound USD would be a closely correlated market. So you could be you can compare and contrast what the market has done between all of these markets. So you can see here the XY created a high, and we took out both of these highs. Euro USD, on the other hand, also created a low, and then we swept both of these lows. Pound USD, however, we had a low here, we've created a low, but we refused to create or form a lower low. So this is showing strength in Pound USD, and if it wants to trade up higher, this would be the strongest to reach up for buy side liquidity right there, this high, this high, this high, and the weekly time frame chart, this major buy side liquidity. Now just below this major buy side liquidity, you would be aiming at the rejection block right there. So that's gonna be pretty much it for pound USD. I also wanna pay. I also wanna note you something that next week on Friday we have NFP. So it's really important to pause your trading on Wednesday, New York, by Wednesday, New York, and from there just tape read or just demo trade what you want to do because the conditions and the probability are going to be against you. Now, one more thing I want to mention is that last week on Friday it was a holiday, so it's very important to also take some time off tomorrow, Monday, because the markets are going to be getting back in motion, and as a result, this can create some kind of a consolidation that can accumulate or that can engineer some liquidity in the marketplace. Because when the market is consolidating, or also known as in a holding pattern, this is smart money are trying to accumulate and engineer interest, engineer liquidity in the marketplace. So they are engineering interest for retail to pick a side. So in that consolidation, many people and many retail are going to be buying, many retail are going to be selling, and they're setting their stop loss above the highs and above the lows. And I'll show you what I mean. So let's say this is a consolidation right there. Before we broke out this low, many retail are going to be, some of them are going to be selling, some of them are going to be buying, and their buying orders, if they bought here, they will be selling their stop loss, or their sell stop is going to be below these lows, and vice versa, diametrically opposed to the selling orders. So if someone sold here and they're going to be selling their stop loss or the buy stop above this high. So when we're in a usually after the holidays, we can see some kind of a consolidation, which smart money are going to be this building and engineering this interest that I've just mentioned in the marketplace. So retail can be building shorts and longs in that consolidation. Therefore, after the smart money would be taking one side by manipulating it, would be taking one side, as you can see right there, it will be taking sell stops and then actually run for the buy side liquidity. So this run down lower is just to trick other traders that for the people who took some sells here, for the people who shorted this low, let's say, or at this position right there, they will be in profit right there. So they will be thinking that the market is going to be continuously trading down lower and that's it. But when in fact it's just traded down lower to take out the sell stops from the people who tried to buy. Some people tried to buy here, but the market, the smart money, they don't want anyone on board. So what they would do, they would drive price down lower to prove buyers momentarily wrong and to trick sellers or people who took some shorts that they are on the right position and then run against them to attack the buy stops or the buy side liquidity. So this is very, very small of the underpinnings of the actual markets, and I can go along and long and long about these things, but this is another conversation for another day. That's gonna be pretty much it. Also, I also want to mention something else, that first we've just finished the first quarter of the year, so we're approaching the second quarter. Tomorrow on Monday, it's gonna be the first day of the second quarter, April, May, June, which is the second quarter. Now, as a result, we can see some earnings announcements of the large companies of that are composed in the indices, the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ and Dow. This can, as a result, create some choppy price action. This can create some manipulation. So it's really important to keep that in mind because there can be some manipulation, there can be some choppy price action in the indices as a result of the earnings that are going to be announced later this week. So that's going to be pretty much it for this weekly review. I really hope you found something insightful out of this. Until I talk to you next time, be safe. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.